Have you ever looked at your life and quietly asked yourself, why do I keep ending up in the same place? You promise yourself this will be the month you finally change. You'll wake up earlier. You'll stop wasting time. You'll read more. You'll work out. You'll become disciplined. And for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, you do. Then something happens. You get tired. Life gets busy. One day becomes two. Two becomes a week. And slowly, without even noticing, you slide back into the same old routine. Not because you are lazy, not because you're weak, not because you do not want change badly enough, but because real change doesn't happen the way most people think it does. That is the central message of Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book isn't really about habits in the simple sense. It's about how your life is built, how your future is shaped, how your identity is formed, and why the small things you do every day matter far more than the big goals you talk about once in a while. Most people believe their lives are changed by big decisions, a dramatic breakthrough, a huge opportunity, a major turning point, a powerful burst of motivation. But James Clear argues something much more powerful. Your life is mostly the result of tiny actions repeated consistently. One small choice doesn't look important. Reading 2 pages, going for a 10-minute walk, saving a little money, writing 1 paragraph, going to bed slightly earlier. These actions feel too small to matter. That's exactly why people underestimate them. But habits are like interest. They compound. And compounding works in both directions. A small positive habit repeated every day can slowly build a remarkable life. A small negative habit repeated every day can slowly damage your health, your confidence, your focus, your finances, and your future. What makes this dangerous is that at the beginning, you usually do not see anything. The person who starts reading every day does not become wise in 1 week. The person who starts exercising does not look transformed in 10 days. The person who starts saving money does not feel rich after 1 month. And because the result stays invisible for a while, most people quit. This is one of the most important ideas in the book. Good habits often feel useless in the beginning. Bad habits often feel harmless in the beginning. But time changes everything. Time magnifies what you repeat. That means your current life is not simply the result of what you want, it's the result of what you keep doing. Your body reflects your habits. Your mind reflects your habits. Your bank account reflects your habits. Your knowledge reflects your habits. Even your level of self-respect reflects your habits. This is why the book asks you to stop obsessing over outcomes alone. Most people focus on goals. They say, I want to lose weight. I want to write a book. I want to become successful. I want to learn a language. I want to be productive. Goals sound exciting. They give you something to aim at. They make you feel serious. But goals have a hidden weakness. A goal tells you where you want to go. It does not tell you what you will repeat every day to get there. And even worse, goals create a strange illusion. You begin to think that once you reach the goal, everything will change. But many people achieve goals and still return to the same old patterns. Why? Because they changed the target. They did not change the system. This is one of the strongest lines from the book. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That means your life is not improved by what you wish for, it's improved by what your daily structure produces. If you want to read more, the answer is not just set a reading goal. It's to create a system where reading becomes normal. If you want to get healthier, the answer is not just want it more. It's to create a system where healthy behavior becomes easier than unhealthy behavior. If you want to become productive, the answer is not simply try harder. It's to build an environment where focus is easier and distraction is harder. This changes the way you think about self-improvement. Because now the question is no longer, what big goal should I chase? The deeper question becomes, what kind of system is my life running on every day? But James Clear goes even deeper than that. He says real, lasting change begins with not goals, but with identity. This is where the book becomes powerful. Most people try to change from the outside in. They say, I want to achieve this result. Then I will build habits to support it, and maybe one day I will become that kind of person. But lasting change works the opposite direction. It starts with who you believe you are. If you say, I want to read more, reading still feels like something extra, something optional, something you should do. But if you say, I am a reader, then reading becomes part of your identity. If you say, I want to run, running depends on mood. But if you say, I am a runner, the behavior starts to feel natural. If you say, I want to write, writing becomes a task. If you say, I am a writer, writing becomes evidence of who you are. This is why identity matters so much. Because the strongest force in human behavior is the desire to stay consistent with the kind of person we believe we are. Your habits are not just actions, they are votes. Every time you read, you vote for being a reader. Every time you write, you vote for being a writer. Every time you train, you vote for being a healthy person. Every time you save money, you vote for being financially responsible. One vote does not decide the election, but repeated votes build identity. This idea is liberating because it means you do not have to transform your whole life overnight. You just need to cast one more vote for the person you want to become. That's how change becomes less overwhelming. Not by asking, how do I become incredible by next month, but by asking, what is one small action I can repeat today that supports the identity I want to want? Now, if habits matter this much, the next question is obvious. How do habits actually work? James Clear explains that every habit follows a simple loop. First, there's a cue, something that triggers your attention. Then a craving, a desire to feel different. Then a response, the action you take. Then a reward, the result that teaches your brain whether this behavior is worth repeating. That loop runs your life more than you realize. You see the phone, that's the cue. You feel the urge to check it, that's the craving. You open it, that's the response. You get stimulation, distraction, novelty, relief. That's the reward. Over time, the loop becomes automatic. This is why habits can feel stronger than logic. You know the habit isn't helping you, but your brain has learned the pattern. The good news is that once you understand the loop, you can redesign it. James Clear offers a practical framework called the 4 Laws of Behavior Change. If you want to build a good habit, make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. These 4 ideas are simple, but they are incredibly powerful. First, make it obvious. Most people think they fail because they lack motivation. In reality, they often fail because the cue is weak, hidden, or undefined. If you want to read, but the book is buried somewhere in a drawer, reading will not happen naturally. If you want to eat healthier, but unhealthy food is the first thing you see, your environment is already guiding your behavior. Environment matters more than people realize. What is visible tends to get used. What is hidden tends to get forgotten. So if you want a habit to happen, bring the cue into the open. Put the book on the pillow. Put the vitamins next to the toothbrush. Lay out workout clothes the night before. Put the journal on the desk. Make the cue impossible to ignore. Second, make it attractive. The brain moves towards what feels rewarding. That's why bad habits often win. They offer pleasure now. A habit becomes easier to repeat when your brain starts associating it with something positive. You can do this by pairing the habit with something enjoyable. Listen to your favorite podcast only while walking. Drink your favorite coffee while reading. Make the experience feel good now, not only useful later. The more your brain looks forward to the habit, the easier it becomes to repeat. Third, make it easy. This is where many people sabotage themselves. They make the habit too big, too hard, too ambitious. They say, I will read for an hour every day. I will work out 6 days a week. I will write 2,000 words every morning.
That sounds impressive, but it creates friction. The harder the habit feels in the moment, the less likely you are to do it. James Clear suggests shrinking the habit until it feels almost too easy. Read 1 page, do 1 push-up, write 1 sentence, study for 2 minutes. At first, this sounds too small to matter, but that misses the point. The purpose of the small habit is not massive progress in 1 day. The purpose is to master the art of showing up. Because once showing up becomes automatic, growth has something to build on. Fourth, make it satisfying. We repeat what feels rewarding. The problem is that many good habits have delayed rewards. Exercise pays off later. Saving money pays off later. Learning pays off later. So, if you want the habit to stick, you need to create a small sense of success now. Track the habit.